Alright, so this is my 67th video. I wanted to just ramble on about things that don't matter. One of the things I found out is about church priests and church pastors. A lot of what they do seems like fear tactics or using Revelations, Genesis, really going off the Bible, and seems more like a control factor than going in there. Now, I do believe in God, but not in the religious institutionalized way, because that's too static, and I don't believe God is static. I believe God is very dynamic and always changing. You study all the religions around the world, such as Tibetan Buddhism, you'll realize that everything is changing, everything changes. There's nothing that stays the same. Actually, dimension-wise, there's a trillion dimensions, a trillion different worlds, and every decision you make branches off to another dimension. So at any point, there is a branch of like a million different choices and a million different worlds that you can be catapulted in. And there is a point where you've actually made a different decision. There's a parallel universe running right across from you. It's quite an interesting fact. Is the universe an illusion? I think so. I think the universe is an illusion. A very elaborate illusion, but a definite illusion. And I think God has created this illusion. The only problem is a lot of us, which is going back to God, has a very difficult road depending on where they stand and what they believe. And even beliefs and these rigid religious political controls on our minds and our bodies and our souls keep us from heading back on that road to God, which is true freedom, true love, and true power. Because once you get to the sun, there is no ego, there is no identity, there is no anything really, just pure energy, just pure love. That's it. That's all there is on the sun. And it's quite fascinating, really. So that's my ramblings on. Someday I'd like to be a church preacher or a church pastor. I think that would be a fun job. You have a really nice, large church to preach to. Now, in the past, I always thought that being a pastor or preacher, you'd have to have at least 50 to 100 people in your congregation. But I've seen preachers and churches that only have like 3 people in them, which is kind of cool. Can you just imagine that? Or just small families, and they would be the church. It's quite fascinating.